Hi, I'm Tammy.
And I'm Crystal. Welcome to Black Brands and Businesses.
So, due to the current economic crisis and ever increasing unemployment rate here in the United States, we felt that it would be important to highlight personal development and financial literacy. And today, for our guest, we have Bafi, who will be sharing some information with us.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
For
Appreciate it.
us.
This is my first actual ever interview, so I'm super excited.
Okay,
I'm very
welcome.
humble. Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to interview you.
Pleasure.
So, Bafi, can you tell us about yourself and how you got into financial literacy?
Absolutely. My name is Godfrey Bafi. I go by my last name Bafi, from Ghana, West Africa. Been in this country for about 15 years now. Went to middle school, high school, college, played soccer in college, and started working for the athletic department at my university. And I quickly realized that, for the majority of us, it's a huge uphill battle, and a lot of us started in negative. So we got to work our way to zero and then even work our way up to positive and build that generational lifestyle and wealth that we're all looking to obtain. So that led me to a nice little journey of doing a lot of research, a lot of reading, and learning from successful people. So if you want to be a doctor, you study from doctors and people that know that profession. So I did the same thing when it came to personal development and financial literacy, and that evolved into Tycoon Talk, and here we are today.
Okay, awesome. Go ahead, Crystal.
Speaking about Tycoon Talks, I do see on your Tycoon Talks.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for that. I do see on your Instagram page that you do Tycoon Talks, and your posts
Tycoon Talk.
are related about that.
I'm sorry.
We don't have to do that.
No, it's fine. I love it.
It's okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about what that is about?
Yeah, basically, Black Tycoon Talk is the overarching title of the whole, platform and the services we provide. The Black is not specifically Black based or Black owned based, but it's more so of a color that is very misunderstood and is one of the most widely searched colors. So, that was more of a marketing tactic there, and it just happens to be coming from a Black man anyway. So that that fits. But Tycoon Talk, what we do is we provide personal development and financial literacy content and services, but we emphasize a lot more focus on the personal development section, because the financial literacy part is only 20% of the whole process. A lot of people know that you live below your means, you're generally always going to do well. That's what's ideal, but not many of us do that. So there are some basic fundamentals in terms of habits, behaviors, mentalities, certain little fundamental skill set that will help lead into the financial literacy section. So we provide, information on and services on debt reduction, stock market guide, stock market analysis, retirement planning, personal development, also when it comes to personal training. I'm also a personal trainer. Many people may not know that. But
Fitness. Stay healthy. That's important. So you mentioned the stock market.
mm-hmm.
In your opinion, what stocks do you think are profitable now, just based on the current, state
Conditions.
of our country?
Many people, feel that there's a fear of missing out, or they just want to buy stocks. But what you really want to put in your mind frame is you want to be an owner / a business owner, because that's what you do when you buy stocks.
Right.
People focus on money and they focus on stock prices. You're going to get in a lot of problems if you do that. So primarily, I don't tend to teach or provide services on individual stock picking until somebody has gotten the basic fundamentals or the true intrinsic value of investing. But if we're picking individual companies, you want to pick the companies that the whole world depends on. The rich depends on, the poor depends on. Markets up, markets down, recessions, wars, new presidencies don't matter, because there are certain companies and certain needs. It's expensive to live.
Absolutely.
So there are certain things that we need no matter what. So you want to pick, your utilities, your banks, healthcare / pharmaceuticals, technology is everywhere, and it will always be that way. So there are certain household staple companies that you want to own, aka the blue chips. That's what they call, the ones that are most valuable. So.
Okay, that's very informative.
Yes, thank you for that.
No problem.
I'm gonna be picking up that information myself. It's not just for the viewers. But as a starting point, where do you think that people should start when it comes to financial literacy? What steps should they take to just get a start?
Right. I like to tell people, learn to walk before you can run. And it's very, very important. So even before you can even think of, investing in the stock market, you have to look at I call them the 4 pillars, So the pillar number 1 being your income. Because if you want to invest, you have to generate some sort of money to be able to invest. So you look at income, the more you make, the better, of course. But also you have to look, so aside from your income, you go down to, you got to look at your savings rate. We're not saving enough, and COVID obviously proves that we're not saving enough. So let alone how we're going to get to the point of investing. So you want to start by being able to generate money, keep money primarily, and then focus on your cash flow. So the less debt you have, you want to assess your debt, see what you can get rid of, and then the gap between your debt and your income is where you can accumulate and start building your true wealth when it comes to finance. So after that, you'll be able to invest a lot more, because most people will not be able to cover a $1,000 emergency this day if something happens. So if you jump the ship and invest before having at least an emergency fund that will last you roughly, 3 to 6 months. I like to say 8, just for extra, safety. What's gonna happen is you're gonna garnish your investment to meet your emergency, because you don't have a choice. Either that, or you're just gonna keep borrowing more money. And as we know it, the borrower is always slave to the lender, no matter how you cut it. So I would say income, savings rate, focus on debt after that, and then you get into investment. While you're doing that first 3 steps, you could be learning and educating yourself, and you could reach out to Tycoon Talk.
Can you share with us a little bit about IRAs? I know, some people have heard the term before, but if you could just educate us a little bit on IRAs and, the benefits of it.
Right. So IRAs essentially are another form of a 401k. So most companies, most businesses will provide benefits. 401k, you contribute, they'll contribute a certain amount, they'll match you. IRA is, in simplest terms, I call it individual retirement account. So you literally starting your own retirement account. So there are plenty of firms that help with that. Every firm just about carry that. So, but in my opinion, the firm that I like most, and I don't work for them or anything like that, but Vanguard is one of those companies that do the right things for the right reasons. It's about fiduciary duty, so they do a really good job with that. There's a slight difference between IRAs and Roth IRAs. Depending on which one you're into, you can borrow against, you can take money out after 5 years. You can take the principal after 5 years. But the best part about IRAs is you don't have to deal with certain stipulations or certain rules and regulations, unlike with a 401ks. But I suggest that everybody should have a 401k to have a job, definitely contribute, especially if they're matching you, because that's free money you don't want to miss out on. And also have an IRA gives you a little bit more flexibility there.
Thank you for that. It's really, how should I say? So it's like, we think financial literacy is important as an adult, but I do think it's important to start as, a teenager moving forward. Just to start that and educate yourself before you get into debt. So, what do you think about that, and what recommendations do you have for like a younger person that wants to invest?
No, absolutely. It's really a lifestyle. That's what most people gotta understand is about, discipline is about value versus use, price versus value. So, as a young individual, we generally don't come from a background knowing this knowledge and knowing how the financial systems work in this country to use it to our advantage. So I believe that, as a young individual, you want to start practicing. Look, the young generation have all the best tools now. I mean, you can YouTube anything, you can Google anything,
That's true.
I mean, you guys have Pandora's box in the palm of your hand. So make sure you're utilizing it, not just having fun alone, but I don't teach the younger generation money specifically, because money is just a tool, so if I teach them money alone, we're gonna run into a lot of problems, because now we're gonna have a whole generation just chasing after money and missing the bigger picture. Not only that, they will sabotage their brothers and sisters so they can get the money. So it's very important that we lead with personal development first, with some of the basic, habits, and then basic fundamentals. So you want it to become second nature. It's a very interesting section, and it requires a certain type of rewiring and working on yourself. So you have to unlearn and relearn in different ways if you want to be hands-on and be intimate with it, so you'll be able to become an asset and help others and pass it down as well. But it could be as easy as autopilot. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it neither. That's why a lot of people get confused sometimes. They think it's like it requires so much time. I spend about 30 minutes a month
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I like it on autopilot, 30 minutes a month, and then I just go live my life, chop life, enjoy other things, and be able to do stuff like this. So
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things I just want to touch on briefly, like, when I think about financial literacy, credit comes to mind. And with credit, we need credit for everything, to buy a car, to get a house. Our insurance companies, they look at your credit. It's everywhere. So for people that are just starting out, say like teenagers, like, what advice can you give them or give to parents, letting them know about how important it is to start building credit,
Right.
as soon as they're able to?
Yeah, I mean, credit is huge in this country, as you alluded to. Cash is king, but credit also has leverage. So the best advice is to have both going for you. The credit part is very easy to build as a teenager. When I was younger, when I had a car, the only thing I was using my credit card for was gas. And that helps you make consistent, use it consistently, pay it off every 2 weeks or every month. So that's really great. People really run into challenges when they just start swiping, buying frivolous stuff. And it's different when you actually pay something with cash. You feel it different.
Oh,
It hits different as opposed to
absolutely.
you just swiping. So, credit is very important, but you want to leverage both, because through COVID, nobody cares about your credit score right now. A lot of people are much more worried about how they're gonna feed their family, how they're gonna pay rent, how they're gonna keep the house together. Credit is not gonna give you that right now. So it's important that you have cash, but also build credit. It's much easier to build credit than have cash. Credit companies, they come flying.
They love you.
When your credit score is good, they're gonna always come after you, and So it's important that you do build credit, and you can leverage credit and use that in ways that will benefit you and your family and things that you're working on. But just don't get crazy and go, get frivolous and start buying anything and everything. So the borrower is slave to the lender. Cash is king. Cash is only bad.
Cash is king.
Cash is king. Cash will always be king. Cash is only bad if it's just sitting there. Emergency fund is designed to just sit there. It's not designed to make you money. It's for peace of mind. It's for, safety. But aside from that, cash is king, because you got to save cash to deploy cash. Cash being saved to be deployed, that's where it's at. But credit is definitely important. So definitely build your credit, because you will get denied if you don't got a good credit score for a car,
Absolutely.
anything. Anything in this country is built. This country is built on credit.
Everything
The
is
Fed
credit.
just borrowed more money to get us out of hot water. So
Absolutely.
be sure to build it, but do it wisely. Sister.
It's good advice.
So right now, I just want to give you an opportunity to just share something that you think is important that we haven't asked you about.
Ooh, that's a really good
This is
question.
all you right now.
Oh, the floor is yours.
Ooh, something that's important that you haven't asked me about.
Yeah.
Man, you guys really good at this. You put me on the spot. I might need a minute. Yeah, good thing we're editing, so.
Yeah.
And what do you think is next for Tycoon Talk? What's next? What do you have for us?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So basically, where we're at with Tycoon Talk is about, we started this about 3 months ago, and it's still, in its infancy stages, but we're scaling very quickly. We're doing really well, but we're also cautious and not scaling too fast. We're all about the bigger picture. A lot of people want to get rich fast. Nobody want to get rich slow. We're looking at it in a long-term perspective. Yeah. So we're not, we're here to last.
It's a marathon.
We're here to stay. It's a culture. So the next thing for us is our YouTube channel, which is up and active, and you can search it and find it by the name of Black Tycoon Talk on YouTube. I will unveil it to the public Monday as well, and you'll find it in my bio on my Instagram, my Facebook, and on Twitter. And yeah, be ready, because we are posting a lot of content twice a week. Mondays, Saturdays are Tycoon books. People underestimate books. There's a gentleman that I spoke with when I was younger, one of my mentors, and he said, if you want to hide something, put it in a book, because a lot of people don't read. So, and the average person reads about 1 book a year. So if you can read 12 books a year and learn one thing from each book, ideally you're 12 times more skillful, or you have 12 more tools to work with and implement to help you get ahead of the game. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel. It's going to be very, very active. We have a lot more in store, and as you follow us, you will notice that we're working very hard to become better assets and do it for the community, because that's what it's about. Whatever we know, whatever I know, the point is to leave everything for the living. You know, when we go, we don't take anything with us. The Egyptians tried taking the gold with them, and guess what? They've been digging them out. So it's about it's all about what you contribute to life in a positive light. So
absolutely. So you guys heard him. He said, "Be ready," and you talked about your YouTube.
Yep.
Now we just want to give you a chance. Let them know where they can find you on other social media platforms.
So for Instagram, you can find me at Black Tycoon Talk. My Gmail, Black Tycoon Talk. YouTube, Black Tycoon Talk. Only Twitter, I would have to work a lot harder. Twitter is talk_tycoon because it was already being used by somebody else. So you can find me on Twitter, talk_tycoon. And there's plenty of gems. I post very consistently on a regular basis. And
well, we're looking forward to seeing, more content, and we really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to, sit with us and share with the world, what you have to offer. I think it's very valuable, and we just look forward to seeing what else you bring to the table.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm following him, so you go, follow him as well. And I learned a lot today, and I'm sure the viewers did as well. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for tuning into Black Brands and Businesses.
Thank you.